How are you, mate?
Yeah, amazing.
Nice.
Always.
So super excited to have you on. What we're going to do, I think we'd just love to hear about, how you got started, what happened for you and sort of how long you've been in and sort of your journey since you started.
Yeah, no problem. So actually signed my distributorship on the 12th of June, 2012. So I've been involved for 5.5 years with Herbalife. I actually started on the Gold Coast, so I'm a Queenslander from a Herbalife perspective, born and bred. I guess my story first up, guys. So the reason why I got up and went to my first ever meeting was I was really financially trying to think of a word to describe it, but that's not a swear word, but has the same effect. Stuffed. I was very close. Like I was getting the calls you don't want to get from the bank, and people always chasing me for money and that type of thing. Because the reason being was I was in a business with my brother in financial services on the Gold Coast, and we're going really well. We just upgraded everything, got new cars. We're living the life, and spending a lot of money at the same time. And then the global financial crisis happened. And literally we lost like 1,000 clients overnight. So our income stream completely dried up, and we still had all the expenses, and we never really recovered from that. So I was actually looking for a way in my mind at the time to make some extra money, just some part-time money. Like I was thinking, if I could do $1,000 a month out of Herbalife, I'd be kicking some goals. So I got started for that reason, to be honest. But what got me down to my first meeting was I was actually, how's this for sliding doors? So me and my wife just moved to the Gold Coast, and we just wanted to meet some people. So we put our names down randomly for mixed netball. Believe it or not, it's huge on the Gold Coast. We're playing in this comp out near out past Southport, and there's like 50 teams. It's crazy. Funnily enough, out of all those teams and all the people that could have been put on the same team, me and my sponsor were. So he invited me down to the Herbalife opportunity meetings heaps and heaps and heaps of times, and I kept saying no just because I guess the timing wasn't right. I wouldn't say I was skeptical, but I Googled Herbalife and it said something about network marketing, and I said, no way, not for me. I was one of those guys. I knew nothing about it, by the way. It was just what I'd heard from other people, so I was borrowing other people's opinions. Ended up sitting in an opportunity meeting, and the income stories, like that's why I was there. I went in there wanting to make an extra $1,000 a month. Like that was my mindset. I'll check this out, and if it could do that, that'd be fantastic. And I heard all the stories, and guys that you guys would be hearing the stories of, right? Like guys like Jerry Taylor, Mike Thors, Robin Christie, of course, and the late Gary DeBrabner. So I've always been really ambitious, and Gary's story got me. I was like, man, if this guy can do this, I'm like, even if I could make 10% of what Gary was earning, because that's back in the days when you could actually say that you're making $500,000 a month or not. I said, even if I can make 1% of what Gary's earning, I'm in. So I got started. I was one of those guys as well. I was like, do I have to use the product, man? I don't really need it. And my sponsor, I don't know if you guys have met Rowan before, but he's an ex-AFL ruckman. So he's a big, big dude, and he's about as tall as he is wide now. Like he's like a monster. Like I'm wide, and he's about that much wider than me. So there, he gave me this look. I still remember it. And he goes, you should probably give it a go for a month. And I was like, all right. So I jumped on the products. After 3 days, I felt incredible, guys. Like I felt like I'd never felt better. I was like, oh my God. I remember thinking at the time, imagine if I could just help people feel some energy like I'm feeling right now. Like I'd be doing an amazing thing for the world. I went on to lose 15 kilos in my first 3 months, 20 overall, put 11 kilos of muscle when they brought out the 24 range. It's only new guys. It's like 2 years old, seriously. But like I'm saying, the energy is what kept me on the products. I feel fantastic. I still do to this day, 5.5 years later. Like I said, I was there for the business. So I just started tapping in and learning, guys. And it takes you a while to put your, your ego in your back pocket. But it didn't take me that long, to be honest. I realized that I didn't have all the answers, but I knew where to find them, which is your training system, right? So I was always showing up to that, always learning, always looking for that, just that one thing out of the event that could make me move forward and move towards my goals. I just kept doing that on repeat, kept taking heaps of action, which is the key, because I still see these guys that were still world team when I started, 5.5 years ago. I was a brand new member and they were world team, and they're still world team because they just don't take any action. They learn a lot, but they don't take any action. So I was really big on that. And just failing forward, I've just been able to fail my way really to president's team. I now make over 40 grand a month in royalties and bonuses. But the beauty for me as well is, my wife, since we've had kids, James is nearly 4 now. She's never had to go back to work, which was a goal 1 of mine. Which is amazing. She can if she wants. That's a choice for her, but it's good to have the choice. And, we travel the world. Like I went to France in January. We were in Adelaide last month. Which isn't the world, obviously, it's Australia. But, I've got LA next month. We've got Singapore in May. Like there's so much coming up. Like it's absolutely crazy. And to do that as part of the job, I was also, before I started, I was one of those guys where I wanted to do Australia first. Those people that don't want to leave Australia because they're a little bit scared of leaving Australia for some reason, unknown to themselves probably, because I've never left. But I wanted to do Australia first, and I've kind of done both at the same time with Herbalife, because I've guest spoken every country, every city, and Herbalife have actually flown me there to do it. So it hasn't cost me anything, which has been amazing. And just learning and growing along the way, guys. I made some incredible friendships all around the world, not just in Australia. I know Bo knows Mark LeChance. He's a legend. He's one of my best mates. Quinton, of course, he's French, one of my best mates as well. So got these international friendships. That's incredible. But I guess, was the question at the start, Bo, how did I get started?
Yeah, it would be interesting to hear how you got started as well.
Yeah, cool. So obviously, I jumped out of the meeting. I said, "Do I have to take the products?" Rowan said, "Yes." I said, "Okay," and a little bit angry your voice. And I said, "Okay, how do we do this, and how do we do it quick?" And he said, "I don't know, but we can learn," because Rowan was still really new as well. So let's go to the meetings Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It was that old regime, but basically what the principle is behind that is show up to every event. Every event you miss puts you back 3 months. That's what I got told early, and I was like, oh my God, if I miss 4 events in the year, I'm back a year. So I've never missed an event, whether it be a webinar like this, whether it be like an SDS. We got to do a 7-hour round trip for an SDS. Of course, unless I'm overseas or somewhere else guest speaking or something like that, unless I'm doing like a Herbalife thing, I'd never miss an event for any other reason, because what I knew was from the start, this was a 5-year project for me. That's what I got told at the start, and that's what I believed. That's what Gary DeBradner told me. That's what George told me as well. It's a 3 to 5 year project if you can plug in and apply. So I was like, okay, well, I'll plug in and apply for 5 years. So I had no problem making the small sacrifices of time, and maybe not being at the party, or maybe not being at the whatever it is, because I was really serious about changing my life, because I'd lived the other side, like the side where you ever gone into a shop and wanted to buy a small thing of food, like a couple of bucks, and you're like, fuck, I hope I got enough money on my card. That was me every day. So I've lived that life. And I didn't want it anymore, and they said, if you do this, you'll be successful. And these guys were doing way better than me. They'd already walked the path. They were already there. And Gary had no vested interest in me. I wasn't in his team. George did. Rowan did. All my mentors did. And they were saying, do this, do this, do this. And the message was consistent. So I did it. I'm not, if all these guys are singing the same song, I'm gonna be doing what I'm gonna start singing, right? So it was amazing. And apart from that, we just tried to talk to people. People are real scared of talking to people, but I've never actually had an angry no. No, you can't get me fitter. No, I don't want to make money. Oh, okay. Of course, people say no, but it's never aggressive. So I've never had a angry no about it. I've had some guys like go, oh, not for me, that type of thing, no problem, you know. But so we always try to get the no's, because the more no's you can get, the more yeses you'll get, and the more yeses you get, the quicker that you can go. And apart from that, the rest, like when we started Herbalife, Fit Club wasn't even a thing. Mark and Jill Addy weren't even doing it yet. And this was just 5.5 years ago, believe it or not, you know. Of course, we moved into that because it made sense to us, because it was like our thing. Me and Quentin went down the beach and just started doing one. We had no idea what we were doing. There's no testimonials. There was no talking. It was literally like a volunteer workout, right? And, of course, then we're like, oh, well, how do we get better than this? Once again, we plugged in. We hanged around the people that were doing it better. We learned the stuff, and then we just took it away and applied it again. So that's kind of what we did. We just tried to, like, we had a vision for ourselves, and we didn't know how we were going to get there, but we knew where we'd get the answers. So we just always tried to plug in. Of course, we smashed the products, wore the brand, talked to people, and attended the events. And I think if you're doing that, guys, whatever, like if you use that as the base of your Herbalife house, whatever's on top of that, it's not going to matter. Like as long as you're doing something that's simple and duplicatable throughout your business, if it's Fit Club, skin parties, shake parties, like people have gone President's Team on it all. So it doesn't matter what that thing that you use to get like the top of your funnel, basically. You know, it doesn't really matter what that is, as long as it's something that you love. Because if you love, you won't have trouble talking about it. And if you can talk about it a lot, more people will come. If more people come, they'll end up on the products. They'll end up as members. They'll end up as supervisors, active world team. You know, down the rest of the marketing plan. So that's kind of what we did, man.
That's awesome. And I know you've had an incredible journey so far, and I've picked out a couple of photos that I think would be interesting for everyone to sort of hear about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some photos, and no, don't worry, they're all good. And if you could just tell us about some of these experiences, because, you know, with only 5 years, it's quite a short time within the company, yet you've had such an incredible experience so far. So I'm just going to go through some of these, and if you can just sort of explain. So you can see this first one here. So tell us about this and tell us who that guy is.
Yeah, so that's the ex-CEO of Herbalife. So Michael O. Johnson was actually a director for Walt Disney Company as well. He's actually responsible for the mouse ears as an actual brand emblem. And he was with Herbalife for about, I think it was 12 years. So when Mark Hughes died, basically MOJ picked up the company. So it was such an amazing experience. So what that was the story behind that, Bo, was we went to the HFF auction at the Honours, and I bought that. So that ride was a donation to charity, $4,000 US.
Wow.
And I got to ride with MOJ, and Graziani just kind of popped down the stairs and said hello and jumped on the bike and started riding. I don't know if he paid or not. You should hear him up about that. But yeah, so we got to spend some time, obviously, with Michael. Went for a big ride around Brisbane. This was around the President's Team, the APAC President's Team. I think it's called the Retreat or Summit.
Yep.
That was in Brizzy last year. So that was an amazing experience. Just to spend some time with him. Like, he's so business savvy, you would not believe. Like, and he'll be the next guy that kind of goes around and talks about leadership and stuff. Him and Dr. Carmona as well. So he's not done with Herbalife yet, which is amazing news for us. He's just obviously swapping CEO with Rich and giving him all the paperwork and stuff to do, and he's just kind of letting his hair down a bit, and just training us, and still involved with the company he loves, which kind of explains the company that you're involved with, right? Like the CEO doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. Amazing guy.
This one here, I'm pretty sure, I think it was Mark that sent me this one to kind of tease me. Now, where were you guys at the time, and what were you doing there? So
we were in, I think that was Charlotte. So this was last year, and you forgive me, guys, because I feel like we travel so much that it nearly blurs together. I went to the States 3 times last year, all different places. But I think this was an extravaganza. So this was Charlotte. This was for the Honours, which is the top 1% of the company. So you can see Mark LaChance there, who's basically one of the only guys he's the highest royalty producer in Canada. So Nicholas Buffetti went President's Team in 3 years. He's in my business. He's Quinton's front line. Quinton Is 20K President's Team member, 1 diamond. He's my frontline member as well. He's an absolute machine, this guy. Like, he just, words can't describe him. And then there's me with an amazing beard. So we're actually at the NBA. Funny story was I actually thought I'd have time. I kind of read the flights, which isn't unusual for me. I literally got to the hotel, gave my bags to the concierge, and we got an Uber to that game. So I was like fresh off a 25-hour journey, which was crazy. But that was my first ever game of NBA, and I'm an NBA fan. It was Charlotte versus the Bulls. So we're watching Dwayne Wade just tear them apart. It was amazing. It was a great experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so
yes.
This next one here, you were saying this is Nick. So what point was this? Is this when you guys are getting your president's teams, or?
Yeah, so this was last year. This was at in LA. So it's called the President's Team Experience. So when you guys go President's Team, they'll fly you to LA. They'll put you up in the Montage, which is like, Google that. It's like $800 a night. It's a crazy hotel. We had lots of kind of receptions and parties. So I think there was 15 new President's Team there. So just hanging around the other President's Team was amazing. But they were all from different countries. Like Matt and Lauren Baraklov were there who had met anyway. So that was amazing. So I kind of knew people that were on the experience as well. So it wasn't just kind of knowing some new people, but there was like 7 President's Team from Turkey guys, which is crazy. Turkey's just like exploded. They discovered nutrition clubs and it just fits their market, right? And it's just exploded their business. A lot of those guys didn't speak English, which just shows you kind of how big the company is around the world. But that was just before we put our name on the President's Team wall next to all the other President's Team in Herbalife. It's such a, like it gives you goosebumps on your goosebumps on your goosebumps. Like you see names there like Enrique, Stelbel, Garen, Quinton was on there, of course. Like all these guys that you've looked up to for so long, like since you started or since I started, I was looking up to these guys. And then to kind of join them, you know, on the wall, it's a crazy experience. Crazy experience.
That's incredible.
Seen Justin Bieber at the Montage, said hello, said my kids were cute, asked him if he wanted them. He walked off.
All right, so is this the honours we have here?
Yeah, so that's that was when I actually first. Yeah, that was the same honours as the previous photo. That's where I first met Mark, and that was the red carpet. So that's where they were giving out the bonus awards.
That's awesome. How was that? What was that kind of like and everything? Like, you know, what were the stories? Tell us a little about the honours.
Like just that night, the cash that Herbalife were giving away as bonuses to the top 10 was nuts, guys. Like, and you consider that these guys make their royalties every month as well, and they're obviously their President's Team bonus as well. This is the Mark Hughes bonus, so this is like an on top. And I'm lucky enough to actually be picking one of these up this year, so next month. But like the top 10 guys, they're getting millions as a bonus, like millions of dollars as a bonus every single year. And it's just you kind of just standing up the front because they let you kind of groupie it and you go up the front right near the stage and you're just kind of sitting there just shaking your head going, oh my God. You know, like imagine someone giving you a $12 million bonus.
That's crazy. All right.
Mil.
I love this one. So tell me about who these guys are to you.
Yeah, so this is my team in France, guys, or some of them. They weren't all there. So that was the French event I was in January. You can see me in the bright brown shoes up the front there with where the mouse was. So that's me, and that's the French hero team. So Quinton actually showed Stefan this because Stefan Graziani was the guest speaker. And Stefan because Quinton was like, ooh, like, you know, like we got a few people here type of thing. And he goes, wow, Jared has a really big business here. I found that really funny. Yeah, so all these guys are in my business. Before this photo, like wrangling this photo was hectic. It took us like half an hour to get everyone there. Can you imagine? Like it's hard enough getting a photo with like 20 people at a spectacular, right? Like if you guys have been involved, it's like herding cats. Imagine trying to get 900 there. Like that's nuts. So we just tried to get everyone that we could. And it was crazy at the start. Like they were all going wild before the photo was taken. And then they started chanting my name. And I was just like, oh my God, like that was literally the best experience I've had in Herbalife out of all of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was nuts.
All right, so a lot of people on this call actually don't know this guy that well, but a lot of the people on this call, this is actually your upline. So tell us about where was this, and what do you know about Stefan?
No, well, Stefan's not my upline. That's the thing. We're just friends. He's Leslie Stanford's my upline. So
yeah, no. For these guys on the call, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so Stefan's an absolute legend, guys. Like he's so, like you think when people go, like this guy's a Diamond Ops founder circle, which is like you've got 10 different lines of president's team. So you've got a gigantic business, and making like he was in the top 10, for example. So imagine just one of his bonus checks, right? So you'd think they would be, I don't know, like different to us, right? But like Stefan's really not. You can tell he's like really intelligent, and you can tell he's really personally developed. But he's just a normal guy. Like most nights when we're up, especially on the retreat and stuff, he was out with us having a beer, just having a chat and talking about Herbalife, you know, like and inspiring the guys. He's just a normal dude. I was lucky enough to actually share the stage with him in the French. It's called the Kickoff. It's like our spectacular. Absolute legend. Legend. You guys, like seriously, when you get the chance, go up and shake his hand, and he'll give you 10 minutes, and you feel like you're the only one there. You know, it's crazy. Definitely one of my idols and mentors in Herbalife.
That's awesome. All right, guys. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go into the Q&A section. So I'm just going to go over a couple of my notes and a couple of questions. Now, while we're doing that, guys, please just in the chat box, it should be in the bottom corner there, guys, at the bottom of your screen. Start writing some questions now, and I'm going to go through and ask them out to Jared as we go. All right, there we go. They're already hitting off. All right, so for me, there's a few things I loved about it. You know, some of the things I got was that, you know, you were invited several times, but you said no, but your sponsor kept inviting you, and you said yes, and then look at you are today. I mean, you know, so that's incredible. I thought, how cool is that? You know, you just never say no to somebody. One of the things you talked about was taking action, just taking heaps and heaps of action continuously. Even though you're going to get these fails, you got to fail forward. And I really like that. And just, you know, showing up to every event, whether it's a webinar like this, an STS, whatever it might be, just making sure you're getting to every event. And one of the other things I got was so cool is just make it a 3 to 5 year project. You know, it's not going to happen overnight, but if you keep taking that action, if you show up to every event, it's going to happen for you. So I thought that was awesome. All right, so we've already got some questions here, so I'm going to roll through some of them, if that's cool, Jared.
Yeah.
All right, so what were your DMOs when you first got started? We've got one of the questions there from Jade.
When I first got started. So when I first got started, I was still working that business. That was still going. The other one, I was doing 80 hours a week.
Wow.
Like literally 80 hours a week. Really grinding myself into the ground with that, just trying to keep it afloat. So I could only use Where Talk. Like that's all I could do. I didn't have time I couldn't do flyers. I couldn't do so many things like what we do, like posters and like I wasn't even really on Facebook. I was just about to delete it before I found Herbalife, and I was like, I'll keep it just in case I use it later. Like seriously. So I wasn't doing social media or nothing. What I did have time to do was I done a few online ads up in the Gold Coast, but I found like the conversion was really, really low because I wasn't building relationships with people, just like dumping them in a meeting. They're having a look, no, not for me, next. You know, like that's what it was kind of like. But what I could do, so I stopped focusing on what I couldn't do because you can spend all day on that and get absolutely nowhere, right? I started focusing on what I could do, which was smashing the products. Obviously, smashing the products like my life depended on it. Smashing the products with the intent to generate leads. So like at work, walking around with it, oh, what's that? You know, like because I'm making it really obvious that I'm using the products. And then people started to ask, and I started to build a little client base. It wasn't going to change my life, the income from that, but it was nice to have some cash to put fuel in the car and that type of thing. I was wearing the brand like like all over the shop. I was wearing my badge to work until I got told off. It's kind of, Mitch is like, he's my brother. You probably shouldn't wear that here. Like, all right, I get it. So I just started wearing a hat and things. I tried to wear the brand as much as I could. It was all over my desk. But what I could do was end every conversation I had that day with the invite. That's what I could do. So that's what I did, you know, and it was just down to the meeting. And these were people that I kind of seen every day. Like, they were people around, like the coffee guy, you know, waiters at the restaurant, you know, like the guys that were just kind of around that you've seen every day, the people at reception in the building that we used to work in, you know, like all those people that you kind of, hey, how are you? And you, like, I just tried to invite them people to check out what I was doing, and then tried to build relationships with that. So, you know, like I stopped focusing on what I couldn't do, started focusing on what I could, and that's when I found I started to get a little bit of momentum. You know?
Awesome.
So they were my DMOs. Was I doing a fit club? No. I was literally just going to the trainings and the Herbalife meetings. Like, all the other stuff come later when I had more time.
Awesome. And the next question, I think this next one is you know, I think you kind of covered that, considering you told us you were working like 80-hour weeks. So it was just, you know, how you get started. Great. All right, so we got one from Nicole here. Thanks for sharing the question. What is your number one bit of advice for a new distributor?
Number one, I guess, like, just taking it back to what you can do, right? And it, like, just smash the products. Like, it's so basic. Like, this is what the President's Team training was about at the new President's Team experience. Smashing the products, wearing the brand, talking to 10 people a day, and going to the events. Literally 4 things that can change your life. So easy to do, so easy not to do. That would be my new distributor. If I can't talk to 10 people a day, great. Talk to 2 this week, build in the 3, build in the 4, build in the 5, build in the 6. They'll still have some success, which will keep them in the game. I guess my other advice would be, you know, just develop, like, realize that Herbalife it's not like a thing. Some people start and they're good at it, right? Some people start and they're not. Like, but the skills can be developed. So it's not like this isn't like it's something that some people come in and just think they're going to make $1 million in the first week. It's not going to happen. You have to build. It's called building a business because you got to build it, right? Like, it's not, you're not walking into the house and saying it's yours. You have to build that sucker up and build it. And, you know, so that's what I'll do. Yeah, you can go hard and make some money straight away, of course, but is it going to be $100,000 a month? No, it's not. You know, you got to build that up. So that would be my advice. Like, in summary, smash the products. Like, just absolutely smash them. Wear the brand, talk to people, and then the marketing plan stuff just takes care of itself. Because if the guys are talking to people consistently every single day, they're going to go supervisor within a couple of months anyway, maybe a month. You know, so
awesome.
I think all the rest will sort itself out.
Awesome. We got one here saying that you spoke about building the Herbalife House. If you could explain, the Herbalife House, what does that mean to somebody, I guess, or what advice would you give on that?
I guess people do it differently, right? Because I've seen different trainings on the Herbalife House and stuff. I kind of didn't mean that when I was saying build your house. I kind of just meant you were like building a business, but we do use it a little bit. It just means you've got an even business. So what Gary DeBradney used to train us on was when you're a Herbalife member, it's like when you're sitting in a rowboat. And Lisa and Brad will remember this training, sure. You got the retail oar in the water, but if you only have that, you're just going to spin around in circles. But you got the recruiting oar in the water. If you only have that, you're going to spin around in circles, right? But if you got both, you're going to be able to row. You're going to go forward. So it's important to have a mix. Like, the principle behind the house is it's important to have a mix. So be getting, you know, a new client a week. Like, everyone on this call can get a new client a week. Get a new member every couple of months. Sorry, not couple of months. Get a couple of weeks or week. It just depends on how quickly you want to go, guys. If you want to go quicker, just double it. If you want to go slower, just half it. But no one wants to go slower. And then it's about having some I guess, so they're like your different sides and just kind of adding and building your business, right? So you're getting new clients every single week, getting new members every single month, and then you're just building on top of that, and then they go into the old member bracket, and you're doing it again. So it's about being consistent, the Herbalife House. And then what you'll get is you'll get a bunch of people who are building their business, they're doing MAP, they're accumulating the supervisor. Who knows? They might be saying, hey, I want to do a success builder order, pop. Like, it doesn't matter what's happening on the business builder side of things, but your volume's going to be crazy. So the Herbalife House is just more about having a well-balanced business of consistency and adding lots of new all the time. Like that's like, when I look at it, that's the principles that I see. So how that looks to you, you just got to do it around what you love. Like, some people love retailing, fantastic, do lots of it, but don't forget to recruit. You know, some people love recruiting, fantastic, do heaps of that, but don't forget to retail as well, because you've got to be able to teach your people who love retailing how to retail. You've got to be able to teach your people how to recruit. You know, so you just got to be able to do both yourself so you can teach it.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for that. We got another one here. It says she travels. It talks about how do you go about getting people to an STS when there's travel involved. This lady here talks about that she's got 6 hours one way to go to an STS.
Yeah, right. What did we do? So it's a 7-hour round trip for us. So it's definitely not a 12-hour round trip. What I would do is I'd be making that depending on where you're on the marketing plan, I'd be making that some type of promotion where you can stay down the night with the team and some team bonding, or just not even a promotion, just promote that. Say, let's go down, we'll stay the night in Brisbane, get away from the kids. Like, that's what I'd be promoting, to go to that. It is a long way. The other thing you can consider is grouping the Herbalife members in your area together and doing your own meeting.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Like, I don't think I'd drive 7 hours to a meeting. I'm telling you, I'd fly, but I wouldn't drive.
Yeah.
A long way.
We've got one here that says, you talked about you were just inviting people to check out what you're doing. What was the invite, or how did you sort of invite people, I guess the question is?
So it depends what you love, to be honest. Because we were really, like, Herbalife was a recruiting business. You guys got to remember that Herbalife was done a lot differently 5 years ago. And it was a really recruiting dominated business. There wasn't as much retail. So what I was doing at the start, if that's the question, was saying, hey, we're putting together a new division of people. We're looking for some ambitious people that want to make some money. We're in nutrition. It's the fastest growing business in the world. Are you open to coming to check it out?
Awesome.
Yes, no, maybe. Yes, cool. Here's the details. See you then. No. Okay. Do you know anyone who wants to make some money? If you don't like money, that's cool, but maybe not like that. But just that type of thing. It's different now. It's still an invite, but it's a different invite. Like we're inviting, like I guess our business model is Fit Club and Health Scans, really, and they both kind of feed each other. So it just depends on how you generate the lead, I guess. If I was out there in the marketplace, I still talk recruiting. It's just habit. I find it easy. Depends on the person. I try to get a good mix in there. Like I'll say, like I always kind of open up with, hey, question, because this is like a transactional type of invite, right? I'll say something like, hey, question, did you know that we do free workouts in the main street here? And they go, no, like, that's amazing. And I'll say, great. What I'll do is, I'd love to send you some information. I always kind of fumble around in my pocket. I'm like, I don't have any business cards. Would you mind if I add you on Facebook or Instagram? They go, yeah, sure. So which would you prefer? Instagram. Great. And then I send them the information. And then what I've got is their contact details as well. So I can actually follow them up. What I used to do for ages was give people my number or my business card, and the phone didn't ring that much. But now I can follow people up, and usually people go, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, cool, I'll come down tomorrow. Because people just forget, guys. You got to think, like, people are busy. They go home after work to their families, and they just completely forget. Like, we've got to be realistic in Herbalife sometimes as well, I think. But when you remind them, it jots a memory again. They go, oh, yes, I'll come to the workout on Wednesday night or something. I'm not working. Fantastic. Great. Come down. I can't wait to see you. You know, we'll get you a rebuild and you'll love it, you know, or whatever you say. But my advice would be when you're inviting, just find your comfortable set of words, whatever you feel like comes easy to you. Do heaps of that. And then just challenge yourself to maybe do another approach, you know, maybe talk about recruiting. Because I find that people either find one or the other easy.
Awesome. Yeah, well, that brings me to our next question. One here from Kelly Humphreys that says, hey, Jared, what is the best way you find recruiting and then retention?
Good question. Best way I find recruiting. Can you explain a little bit on that? But I'll tell you how I retain people while you're defining that for me, because I don't really understand that. I retain people in the business by putting money in their pocket in the first 72 hours with retail.
Nice.
Helping them do that, like taking them under my wing and saying, righto, let's go. And if they're not going to show up to that, then that's fine. They're not what I'm looking for. I'm after people that want to, like from a recruiting perspective, I'm after people who want to start a business, right? Which means make money. So I'll do that. And secondly, I'll get them not only building their client base, but I think what retains people better is building a team. So many reasons. Number one is they have a big sense of responsibility. Number two is they don't want to let their team down. Like, it's just human nature, which makes them all go to the events because they're having fun. And when they're having fun, people stay. It's like there's a real equation to Herbalife, right? Like new people, like when you guys are at your events, right? New people, you're super excited. If you've got a new person sitting next to you and you're like sitting there going, ooh, I wonder if they're going to get it. You know, like you're pumped. And the excitement creates energy in the room. And the energy is what actually recruits the person, because the energy is so rare. Doesn't matter what they say on the screen. Like, I can't remember a slide from my first open house. But I remember the energy and I remember the incomes. So that's for me what actually recruits the person. That might have answered your question, but that's what will retain them as well, because the community is what retains people, I think. And if they have a team of people in the community, like I think that, and they're making money, why would they leave?
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. All right, it says another one here from Kelly. It says, what is the method you have found to be most successful in attracting your team? So, yeah, I guess, yeah. So,
I think I understand what she's asking. So, with attracting my team, what I found was I worked out some lifestyle centers around the place. And I found like I was trying to be someone else. Like I wasn't being true to myself. I was trying to be like other people, and I found like literally I was in Melbourne for 18 months and I still don't have a team there. Like I don't have a team there. I never really did. I could never get off the ground with people because I think it was because I wasn't being my true self, right? I come down to Albury and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be myself. I'm just going to do this and not do what I know works. And I'm just going to work really hard and just see what happens in 12 months, you know. And we literally started this lifestyle center in April. We had 72 people here last week at BoxFit. We've got over 30 supervisors here locally now. So what happened was, how I attracted my team was I just started being myself. You know, I stopped trying to be someone else. Because if you're continually like the best version of myself, sorry, not my old self. I don't think anyone would have wanted to work with that guy. So I just kept working on myself and then just tried to be the best version of myself out there in the marketplace. And it just kind of happened. Like, it's hard to explain really. But it just kind of just started to fall into place. I started to attract we've got some amazing leaders down here. That will all, you know, you'll see a lot of tab team coming out of this area this year, and you know they inspire me. You know, like they're crazy. So, and I think it just comes as, you know, you guys just trying to be the best version of you, and people actually like that inspires people to be the best versions of themselves. And when people are actually doing that, those type of people are attracted to each other. So it just kind of just makes sense when people come into the club here and they look at the coaches and they hear the results and they hear the income testimonials and all the testimonials and all the stuff, and they feel the buzz. That attracts the right person for us.
Awesome. All right, guys, we've got time for maybe 2 more quick questions. We've got one here already, and whoever gets in there last will have that last question. All right, so retaining clients. What is the thing that you do? How do you work with your clients?
How do I work with my clients? Firstly, I'm really picky on my clients because I don't have much time. And I have been, even when I had time, by the way, because I'm always just after serious clients, because I had a real spade at, I had a run. You had those runs at people and you're like, why don't these people take the products? They spent the money. Why aren't they eating them? Why aren't they just trying to get a result for 10 days or 30 days? Have you guys ever sold product to people and they don't pick up the phone after? You're like, what? Yeah, what just happened? The reason being is they're not serious. So you actually have to qualify your people. Otherwise, from my perspective, you're doing yourself a disjustice, you're doing them a disjustice, and you're doing Herbalife a disjustice, because they're going to go away and tell all their friends that Herbalife doesn't work and they haven't even had a shake, right? Because it's on them, but people, most people don't do personal development, so they're not going to blame themselves. So to answer your question, the way I retain clients is I qualify them hard. I ask them questions like, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're super serious about this, 1 being you're not serious at all, where do you sit? And they'll say, if they say anything under a 7, I say, what I think you should do is come down to a workout or something like that. I won't even talk to them about the product. I'll wait till they're ready. Because unless they're ready, guys, it's going to be so hard on you. You're going to be calling them. They won't pick up. You'll be upset. You'll be like, oh, they're doing that. It's just a nightmare. So to answer your question, the way I attract and retain clients is they're super serious from the start. So they'll take the product seriously from the start, which means they'll get a result. And if they hang around the community, they're going to be in anyway, from our perspective, because they're going to be like, this is crazy. Everyone's getting results. We're all doing it. It's like a real, I don't know if you guys had any sales training, but it's like the Jones theory. Everyone wants to be like the Joneses. We're all doing it. Someone buys I don't know if you guys have ever been out to, where's just north of Southport? It has the really nice area that has all the mansions. Glenn Marin lives there. Where's that?
Oh, what is it?
Island.
Paradise Point or something, right? Is it something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you drive in there, right, you'll look to the right and you'll look to the left and you'll see some boats. And it goes smaller boat, little bit bigger, little bit bigger, little bit bigger, little bit bigger, little bit bigger. And there's some massive boats there when you actually drive around. That's the Jones theory. Because old mate buys a boat and they just want to be a little bit better. So it's the same thing with the Herbalife community with clients. So I take the pressure off myself. I tap them in to the community because they're serious. And the other thing is I don't take any, I don't actually take any BS from my clients. If they're not using the products, and I'll tell them. I'll say, hey, you said you were serious about this. Give me them back. And they're like, what? I'm like, give me the products back. You can't have them. I'm really serious because the way I look at it is I'm the coach and they're you think you guys, what is it, rugby league up there? You think if the players start tell Wayne Bennett on the Broncos, does he still coach the Broncos? I don't know, I'm way behind. But imagine Wayne Bennett coaching the Broncos. He was like a god there when I was there. And imagine their players saying, so Wayne, I think I'm going to play fullback today. And they're like a prop or something, right? Well, I don't know what you know the differences. I don't know the differences. I can talk AFL to you. But the players don't tell the coach what to do. And your clients are the players. So you have to be firm with your clients. Don't be rude, but be firm because you're there to get them a result. That's your responsibility. As soon as you make $1 off your client base, that your responsibility is to get them a result. So if you're not willing to do that, don't take the $1. Because that's good for Herbalife.
That's right. That's perfect. All right, we have one last question. I've been sent some private messages. All right. So one last person wants to know privately. They want to know, how did you recruit Quinton? They want to know the secret.
No secret, man. I think the secret was I recruited about 200 people, and Quinton was one of them.
Boom. There you go. That's the real secret.
That's the secret.
Awesome.
You got to be consistent.
That's awesome. Well, I love that. And, you know, this has been an incredible call. I've got lots of great notes. This has been really cool, guys. Guys, we're going to unmute, and we're all going to give Jared a massive round of applause because that was an incredible call, guys. So I'm going to unmute you guys. All right, no problem. Thank you, Jared. Awesome. All right, so guys, that's it for tonight. We've taken up enough of your time. We definitely went over there. So Jared, thanks a lot for coming on. That was really good. We got a lot of good stuff done tonight. I'm really excited. I hope everyone else got a lot from that as well. Guys, thanks again, Jared. That was amazing. Any upcoming events, of course, guys, don't forget Wednesday we have our Coach Academy. All right, guys, so be on the call. I believe, and I might get this wrong, but is it Kaylee is going to be our speaker and host? Yes, Kaylee is going to be our speaker and host. I'm just going to unmute you, Kaylee. Kaylee, what have you got for everyone on Wednesday?
Yeah, so on Wednesday, we're going to go through some recognition. I'll point out our superstars for the week, and then we'll go into a bit of a training in and around MAP. So how to do MAP 15, 10, 5, 1. It's going to be amazing training. Bring your people. Make sure you bring the energy, and we'll have a great training.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well done, guys. All right. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you guys all soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you a long time.
Have a long time. Bye. Mwah.
Mwah. Mwah. How do I leave?